coming today. I would also like to thank Fort Wayne City Council members Marty Bender, Tim Pate, and Tom Smith, Allen County Commissioner Nelson Peters, and Allen County Council member Paul Moss for joining me here today as well. The challenge of our time is to do more with less. As your mayor, I am always mindful that my first responsibility is to the people of this community and to Fort Wayne's economic health. Through innovation and sound management, the city of Fort Wayne already delivers cost-effective, high-quality services to all of our citizens, day in and day out. But in these difficult times, I'm equally mindful that to meet expectations and to keep our community attractive and competitive, we must constantly seek new ideas and new ways of doing things. Several months ago, I shared news with you that we had begun studying the issue of gaming in our community. We did so because private businesses and interests came to us as they investigated their opportunities here in Fort Wayne. Since then, we have talked with various groups, and we continue to do so. Additionally, we initiated a thorough examination of the gaming issue. We know it has broad implications, and we need to understand them fully. So we engaged professionals to research the economic and fiscal impacts of gaming and its market potential here in Fort Wayne. We also sought insights into the social and community effects on the city. Those efforts remain underway, and the full report will be released shortly. But some of the preliminary information is already in hand. As I had hoped, all of this activity has spurred community dialogue, a considerable amount of community dialogue. But not only should we be talking about gaming in our community, we should be talking about some of the other real challenges confronting us as well. We need to determine what our priorities are here in Fort Wayne and how we might achieve our goals in these uncertain times. What these many conversations and early data have made clear to me is that the issue of gaming is a complicated matter, and it is something that we as a community really have only started to explore. I believe we should have the courage to pursue a full consideration of gaming, and when we have, we should be able to make a choice that benefits us all and is the right one for us. With each day, I am more convinced that the decision about gaming is not mine alone, but ours as a community. And to that end, I'm calling for a citywide referendum on the issue of gaming. And I will ask the Indiana General Assembly to support us in our quest with enabling legislation to allow us to do just that. I want to thank the elected officials here with me today who have joined me in their support for this effort. Two of the principles that I have shaped my administration on is openness and community participation. It is why I walk neighborhoods, I have mayor's nights, I issue surveys, I attend a lot of community events, because I believe we are all partners in building our city together. Your ideas are valuable to me. They guide me and help me lead the city. To address the critical needs of our community, we need to help the public gain a better understanding of the gaming issue and to prepare us for a collective decision. To that end, I will hold a series of community forums. This subject certainly merits a thoughtful, objective deliberation. I will champion the right of our voices to be heard, but you can be confident I will be persistent in keeping the door open for opportunity to enter. Thank you all very much for your time today. I'm sure that not only will I be available, but those behind me for any questions the media may have.
Timing on the community events or community forums, do we know just saying that this is going to happen. And we're going to have to
That's
work out
exactly correct. I'm making the announcement today. We are going to be having a series of forums. I'll direct my public information office to begin setting those forums up throughout the city to make sure that we get good representation from all quadrants of the city.
Are you calling for the referendum this fall?
We're going to contact, as I speak, we're contacting the legislature to ask them to give us the ability to have a referendum as soon as they deem fitting for us to do so.
What is the advantage? And we've talked before about the advantages of having it in 09.
Well, certainly, it will bring the issue to the forefront. And we are in very serious economic times right now. And for those who are in a position that feel that gaming can benefit a community, certainly they would like to have this move forward as quickly as possible. And for those who feel that it is not in the best interest of the community, it certainly would give them time to prepare as well.
The fact that it would not be up against any other issues in 09, you see that as a benefit as well?
Well, sure. It would be the sole question on a referendum if it wasn't on that.
In your preliminary review of this, what magnitude of private investment do you think that this might bring into the city, and would there be any public money required?
Well, first of all, no. To answer your last question first, if this community were to feel that it was in the best interest to go forward with a gaming license, all that does is let the legislature know that the city of Fort Wayne is open to it. There are other communities that have passed referendums as well. We're only going to be one of a number ultimately that would be in a position to have gaming. The legislature then would decide, first of all, do they want to have another license? And if not, then communities would have to wait for a license to become available through a transfer. It may or may not be public. Obviously, if we said no in a referendum, then we wouldn't be considered at all. If we said yes, we would be among one of a number that the state legislature could consider as a possible community. But I would anticipate and I would encourage that no public money be involved in the structure itself or any type of activity.
If the referendum was held this year, then there would obviously be an additional cost. Who do you think should be responsible for paying?
I haven't got there yet, Ben.
And do you think, I know you aren't ready to make a decision now, but do you think you would be, if the referendum was approved to have one this fall, you would be coming out for or against before the vote was held?
Again, that's one of the reasons I want to have a series of community forums to find out where our community stands.
But what you're saying is you very well could take a position before a referendum after the community forums?
I think it's a little premature at this point. I really don't. I don't have the answer to that. I really don't know. And that's one of the reasons. I've heard from both sides. We've received a significant amount of feedback already from the community through emails, through regular mail, through telephone calls, and the like. It is definitely a subject of conversation in our community, and I've heard from both sides, and both sides have some very strong points. What I'm trying to do now is to say, and it's like as I said in my remarks, because of all of that, I'm not sure that I feel comfortable making the decision myself to move forward. I would rather have our community speak. We have a city of 250,000 people, and I think they certainly have the ability to decide ultimately what's best for them.
What role would the city have if you had a positive vote on the referendum? Would the city take an active role in steering the location of that of a facility if in fact a license does?
Well, I'm sure that the administration would be very involved in where an operation of that type would best benefit the city. No question about that. We have to make sure that not only the citizens, legislative body, city council, county council, county commissioners, all of us are on the same page as far as the
You said both sides have really good, strong points on both sides of the issue. Could you maybe just state what some of the feedback you're hearing on both sides are right now?
Well, there's certainly a financial impact for communities that is very attractive, has been very attractive to some cities. Job creation, that type of thing. From a social perspective, many communities have become points of destination. On the other side, there's also been some increase in social concerns and social problems as a result of gaming. Unfortunately, there are those who struggle with the self-discipline necessary to use it as a comfortable form of entertainment. And it also can contribute to other social problems as well. So there's an upside and a downside. And I think again, it merits a full, objective look at the entire subject matter.
And once you get feedback from the community forums, it sounds like you might be safe to go with whichever way the community's leaning. Will that be your final choice?
Well, we're going to be, all that does is help us prepare for the referendum, which will ultimately come if the state legislature allows it. And then we'll determine when that referendum should be held. And we'll go from there.